Alex Hormozi has been dropping bombs on his YouTube channel for businesses looking to grow and scale. As someone who scaled their agency to multiple 7 figures and has helped over 200 agencies also scale, we're gonna see what Alex Hormozi says about scaling businesses and how we can correlate that to the agency life. Let's get into it.
Every business needs to solve each of these 4 problems in order to make more money and scale. The first of those problems is figuring out the customer that you're actually going to serve. And in talking to many of you, the issue is you have no idea. And that's okay. Because in the beginning, you need to sell everyone because you have no money and they have a pulse and a credit card and you only require one of those things.
This is spot on advice from Alex Hormozi for agencies specifically. I mean, what happens when we're growing our agency, usually people hire you for a specific skill set, and you're probably an agency owner, you're probably really good at what you do and you want to help a lot of people because you don't want to turn down somebody's credit card and you get the sense of FOMO. The problem is you start saying yes to this, you start saying yes to this, you start saying yes to this, and the bottleneck becomes you. We just need to identify who is our ideal client, what does that look like, what are the problems that we're actually going to solve for these businesses, and try to be as disciplined as possible with that, because that will allow you to have a really strong offer that's repeatable, and it becomes a lot more operationally efficient to actually fulfill when you do begin to scale.
2 sides of the same problem. You either charge too little or you pay too much. And I want to put caveats around this. I'm a big believer in hiring great talent. But if you want to have a frozen yogurt store and you want to pay the people behind the counter 20% of revenue each, your business will not make money. You have to nail the individual model where you can make enough money at full capacity, which is going to trickle into problem 3. But you get into this position where, like, wait, I realize now that I can't give profit shares to every single person. Business owners will stay in this lane for years because they'll just say, like, well, if I tell them I have to change the comp, then I'm going to lose them.
The thing with pricing, I mean, as an agency, we're selling time and we're selling expertise of us using that time. I see a lot of agencies where they're not profitable because they're not accounting for all of the time that it takes to fulfill for the clients. They get down this road, they get busy, maybe they get more clients, but they're spending so much money or they're spending so much time on their clients to fulfill, which is not a scalable model. If you ever want to go hire somebody, if you don't have any margin to go hire somebody, then you're practically screwed. But we need to make sure foundationally our offer is priced for profit, and it's priced at least 65 to 75, 80% margin. And foundationally, if you can do this from the jump within your agency, then you will not be in that trap of, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, yet I have no margin to actually pay anybody, or we're undercharging, which is basically the first point, or we're at a point where I'm hiring all these people, but I have no freaking margin. We need to make sure we're pricing for profit from the jump, from the offer.
I said we were going to do these big things, but based on the decisions that I made, because I'm a numbnuts, I mispriced your compensation. And because of that, I'll never be able to give you career growth. I'll never be able to reinvest in you. I'll never be able to have the opportunity to open new locations or move up in this business because this business will not grow. But if you're willing to go on this ride with me and change how compensation works, and to be clear, I'm taking nothing. So like, you work every month and you still get a paycheck. I work every month and I get poor.
Here he's talking about just if you are overcompensating for your employees, how do you dig yourself out of that? But what I hear him saying is that he's not just digging himself out of a hole. What he's doing is he's casting a vision to his team. And I think one thing that we can do as agencies, if we're hiring an editor, an EA, or whatever, like, they're not going to work or be excited to have a job. They're going to be excited to be bought into a vision of where this is going. And if you as an agency owner can have a big vision for your agency, you can communicate that to everybody within your agency, then they will be hyped to work for you. They will be hyped to show up every day. They'll be hyped to do well because they know what they're working towards and why they're doing what they're doing.
Oftentimes, it's just you're charging too low. And there's all these ethical things of like, I feel like an imposter. And I'm like, dude, you're not an imposter, you're broke. You only get imposter syndrome when you pretend to be something you're not. Like, you will only have that if you're misrepresenting something. If a customer wants to pay you for something and you have the thing and they're willing to exchange, it's voluntary, you're not holding a gun to them. It's voluntary exchange. That's how capitalism works. You have a thing, they want the thing, and there's a price that they're willing to pay for it. If they're willing to pay for it, phenomenal. Like, that's capitalism.
This is fire. And I think a lot of people, where they mess up as agencies is whether you're doing content or whatever it could be, is 1, you don't have conviction in your offer yourself enough to be able to charge a profitable amount. And then 2, you don't have an offer that actually provides an outcome. You're just a service provider. What we want to do is make sure that our offer is not just going to provide a service and be nice to have, but get them to an outcome that's going to make them more money, or do something that's actually an exchange of value that becomes worth it to the customers. What you don't want to do is you want to do the opposite, and then you'll be in a really sticky situation.
We have this ego thing around growing revenue. And so a lot of you guys are like, when I say, what's your goal? It's like, I want to go from 1 million to 3 million. I want to go from 3 million to 10 million. I want to go from 10 million to 30 million, whatever it is, right? Like everybody's got this big number goal. And so what happens is you make the goal the thing that you focus on. But when the goal is an output, you then get weird about inputs because you try and make the output occur, rather than thinking, I have to fix this model where once I get the inputs clear, I jam as many high quality inputs into it, and then revenue occurs. Revenue is a consequence, not a goal. The inputs that we put in the system, so when we make what we're gonna do for content, we talk about how many pieces of content we're going to make, what the schedule of that content is, what's the checklist we're going to follow that will increase the likelihood that these video views go to the right people and get the most of them to see it.
Basically, like what I hear is design beats willpower. And I think we all, as agencies, put this lofty goal of saying, cool, I want to hit 20K a month, 30K a month, 100K a month. But what Hormozi is explaining in his example of client views and just like the input scenario is like, we just need to do the things that will generate the thing. If I think about the inputs to get to that 20, 30, 50K a month, then I think it's cool. I need to have the inputs of getting a predictable way to get new clients. 2, I need to have a great way to fulfill clients that I could do every single time, every time, and not be in a hole, and it's predictable and it's profitable and it's delegatable and it's scalable. And I have a way to getting team members to help fulfill for me. And if I can nail those 3 things in my agency, the byproduct will be more revenue at a profitable level. And if you can nail that, then you will nail the byproduct of what you probably actually want, which is more revenue.
The best diet is the one you follow. The best person to marry is the one you stay with. The best business is the one you stick with. The thing that makes it the best isn't the thing itself, it's our commitment to it. There's a lot of different businesses that will work for you if you stick with it. And I think it's a very good framework. There's a perfect diet for you that's perfectly measured and will get you the absolute fastest results. But if you do not stick with it, it won't happen. And so it's not about the actual intricacies of the diet. It's about your willingness to stick it out.
I mean, we're talking to hundreds of agencies every single week and helping them grow. And common denominator, unfortunately, is they're like switching offers. They want to switch this up. They want to switch this the way they get this. They want to switch the way they do this. What happens is they're starting at 0. They try something, doesn't work, first couple weeks, whatever it could be, start at 0. And you literally have to start at square one over and over and over and over and over again. And to me, that's the value of having a mentor, a coach for your agency, is because they will literally give you a roadmap and hold you accountable to sticking to it. For us, like what we do is we literally have a full roadmap that we give our agencies based off of their unique situation and their skill set, and we massively hold them accountable to actually sticking with it. And ultimately, I think what's most important about this is having the right sequence of events and potentially somebody that can help give you the right sequence of events in order to actually execute on your agency.
Entrepreneurship is one of the best paths to making yourself better because you have such a quantitative measure of saying, did you improve? And so simply saying, I don't know how to, rather than this business won't work because, is a much more empowering frame. So rather than say, hey, this business won't work because the market doesn't like my stuff, you say, I don't know how to market my stuff. This business won't work because no one can sell like I can. No, I don't know how to get someone else to sell like I can. That's solvable. And so simply reframing what I believe to be problems that I cast onto the universe as things that I cannot change, where I place the finger of blame, you flip to the thumb of accountability and say, this is a skill deficiency. And because it is mine, I can change it.
That is a freaking leadership gem for all agencies. One of the core values at our agency is extreme ownership. We have responsibility for everything in our life. We need to shift the blame from my offer is not working, I'm not good at this, whatever it could be, to how can I improve my offer to serve these types of clients? How can I get my clients better results so that they keep coming back to me? How can I learn to market better so that I can get more opportunities? How can I learn to sell better so that I can get more opportunities inside of my agency? How can I teach this other person how to fulfill the way I fulfill so that I can scale beyond myself? That's the framework that we need to be thinking about and looking at our agency like, versus looking at a light switch or some magic pill, or like thinking that it's going to be easy, that it's going to happen. It's like, no, we got to take extreme ownership. We got to do everything in our power. I always say that a CEO title, the CEO, is Chief Expectations Officer. You can set expectations for everybody and be really good at holding them accountable to that. Then that's you taking ownership of the business and of their success, because because ultimately it all falls back to you. Okay, guys, those are some straight nuggets from the video that is titled Business Was Hard Until I Understood These 4 Concepts. Hope you got some value from me adding in my own little nuggets in there. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.